because looking at yourself hurts. You're looking at yourself, which means that you're exposing truths within yourself that you are not good enough. How do you come back stronger? Because you still have another chance. This is not the final grade. You still have another chance to back at it again and do better. What's that mindset shift? The reason why you blame people or you blame something is because it makes you feel better. Oh, it's not me, it's them, or it's this. I've got to go back to the drawing board and start again. There's work that needs to be done here, and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Most people don't have that mindset. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because I feel a lot of you go through something similar to this and it could be of benefit to you. And I'm just going to get straight into it, no BS. And let's just get into it basically. So just to give people a background and context of who I am, for those of you who don't know me, I used to work in investment banking. I left the investment banking world to then go and start up my own maths academy that I've been now running for the past 7 years. So I teach from year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10, all the way up to A levels just before the students go to university. So pretty much my field is maths, but there's also a lot of psychology, a lot of behavioral patterns that I've studied just from teaching students. So it's not just the maths, it's just a lot of observations. And I wanted to share this, what I did specifically today, that took a lot of students aback, because I feel like it's a great meaning of life as well. And I really, really hope that you guys can gain something from this. So I basically sprung up on them a test out of nowhere. I did tell them there was going to be a test, but I did not tell them when I was going to do the test. So they came in, they looked at the paper, they were doing it, and they were like, what the heck is this? It was just, they dealt with the pressure of all these more harder questions, just a bit more advanced. And a lot of them after the paper, they said, so like, this is so much harder than what we experienced in school, so much harder than any exam that we ever did. What happened was I sprung up a test out of the blue, and that took them by complete surprise. And not only that, I made the questions just a bit harder, but not too hard that they can't do. So me doing this test was not to bring them down. Me doing this test was for two things. One, I wanted to take them by complete surprise. Two, I wanted to see how they deal with pressure when it comes out, when it just sprung out of nowhere. So when they did the test at the end, they were all gone. Most of them said, I don't think I've got a single question right? Oh, this was hard, etc. Now, the reason why I wanted to make this video was because of this notion of blame, okay? And again, like, I want people to understand that I absolutely enjoy teaching these students, and I will still make sure that they get the grade that they want and achieve. I will make sure I help them. But there is this kind of this thing of blaming something or someone when things don't go your way. And I observed that with most people, right? And most people tend to blame something or someone. Look, like, that's life. Life is going to bring you down, and it's going to bring you down in uncontrollable ways where you did not foresee it coming. You did not expect it to come. It comes out of you from nowhere and it jumps at you. Now, how do you deal with that? Same thing with this. Like, how do you go about dealing with it? And this thing about blaming, the reason why you blame people or you blame something is because it makes you feel better. It makes you feel better when you blame someone or something. Because it means that you don't have to look at yourself. Oh, it's not me, it's them, or it's this. Me doing this paper for them was to make them understand that, life is not going to be straightforward. That things are going to come out of nowhere. How do you deal with that? I wanted them to learn hardship. I wanted them to understand what it feels like when something comes out of the ordinary. You didn't think that this was going to come. Now, how'd you deal with that? How'd you go about finding ways of dealing with this pressure now that just came out of nowhere? And I feel like a lot of you, and again, this is not me bringing you down, so I just hope that you understand this, is that you always feel to blame something or someone as opposed to looking at yourself. You see, I told them, okay, fine, this test didn't go well. Cool, no problem. You didn't get the marks, you didn't get the grades. That's fine. What can you learn from this now? Let this be a wake-up call. Okay, I messed up. I thought I knew this, but Vidush brought this up on me, and he completely threw me off, completely took me by surprise, and I didn't get the grade or the mark that I thought I should have got or thought I was capable of doing, I've got to go back to the drawing board. I've got to go back to the drawing board and start again. It's a good reality check that there's a lot of work that I need to do. The values and principles that you learn from something like this, where you apply, how do you apply this in the real world? Okay, how do you apply pressure? How do you deal with pressure? How do you deal with uncontrollable situations that come at you from left and right? That is what I like to teach. That is what I want them to understand and use those principles in other aspects of their life. Maths for me is just a language that I'm sharing. It's like a byproduct. And I just like, I look at people these days and people just put the blame because of that, as opposed to just looking at themselves and saying, okay, I'm lacking in these skills. I need to go back and work. Like if I was doing the work, if I was keeping up and being organized and studying and focusing and working every day, this test would have been okay because I've been doing the things that I needed to do. But the fact that this came out of nowhere and I wasn't ready for it shows as well that I wasn't mentally prepared. It's good. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Like this, like, you see, the thing is, right? People think that, when something bad happens, it's like you intrinsically feel like you're stupid and dumb, right? Because you think that, okay, I'm not good at this and I failed. But what it does, what you should look at it, the lens that you should look at it as is, whoa, okay, there's work that needs to be done here. And I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Most people don't have that mindset. Most people, when something doesn't go right, when something doesn't go the way they want, they put the blame on something or someone and never look at themselves. The reason why, and I would do it and I'll still do it, the reason why I sprung that test out of nowhere and made the questions the way I did is I said to them, listen, you're not coming to me to learn 2 + 2. You're not coming for me to do that. You're coming to me because I'm going to morph you. I'm going to change you so that you can do questions that are a lot harder, so that when you go back to school will be very easy. You're laughing. When you go and do these exams, GCSE, the A-level exams, you're laughing because you came here and we've gone and done a lot harder things. We've challenged our mind, we pushed ourselves, and we just worked at it. That's the reason. Like that, to me, that's how I look at it. And fair play to these students. They've been coming for me every single week, and they've not complained. This is the first time I've seen them complain in this scenario. But I just thought that I wanted to share this because it's a great analogy to life, where most people, even after university and work, when things don't go the way they want, they always find someone or something to blame, as opposed to looking at themselves. Because looking at yourself hurts. You're looking at yourself, which means that you're exposing truths within yourself that you are not good enough. But instead of thinking you are not good enough, think of it in a way where I've got a lot of learning to do. Good. Okay, I'm going to learn. Don't put the blame on people. Don't put the blame on something because it didn't work the way you expected it to work. That's just life. Life is going to come at you very unpredictably. Like everything is going well one day, and then something out of nowhere just comes out and just throws you over. And you're like, what the heck? Cool. How'd you deal with that? That's the important thing. It's not like, I even told the students this, where I said to them, like, listen guys, I don't care if you don't get the good grades. Okay, fine. You messed up this time. How'd you deal with that now? How'd you come back stronger? Because you still have another chance. This is not the final grade. You still have another chance to come back at it again and do better. What's that mindset shift? Okay, I didn't do well. How do I go about now doing that? Like, how do I go about improving that again? How do I go about now looking at what my weaknesses are and starting to become more focused, more serious, have more urgency in what I do? I don't need to go and, mess around with my friends or, party or waste time on YouTube, Netflix and all that. I need to stay focused because I need to do this so that I can get to the next goal. That's it. If you can look at it in that way, if you can look at it in that lens where when things don't go your way, it's a learning curve for you to become better, for you to become stronger, for you to become sharper, you are going to get ahead in life compared to most people. Like if you look at, I have two YouTube channels. This is the First Chances, and I have another YouTube channel called the Second Chances. The Second Chances is quite deep. It's a lot of my life experiences and things that have not gone well for me. And I explain a lot of those things. But if you go and watch those videos, you'll see a lot of things that I experienced were a lot of rejections, a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles. But how did I overcome that? It's the mindset. And I explain a lot of that in that channel. And most people just, they want the easy thing, man. They want it easy. They want everything to be easy. They want everything to be cushy. But just listen, like, if you don't go through the struggles, if you don't go through the hardships, I know you don't like these words, but I have to be honest here. If you don't go through those things, you are never going to prosper. You are never going to grow, and you're never going to improve as an individual. There will be no growth within you. Growth comes from friction. Growth comes when things don't go your way. Growth comes when things that you thought was going to work doesn't work. And now what are you going to do about it? I genuinely want you to do well. I genuinely want you to improve this, improve that. I always said this. I said this in my other the Second Chances video YouTube channel. There's two things that people can't take from you: what you feed your brain and what you feed your stomach. No one can take that away from you. There's going to be things that's going to be uncontrollable. That's life. How do you go about dealing with that? This blame game of, oh, the exam was hard. Oh, I wasn't expecting this. But then what the heck were you doing all this time? What the heck were you doing? If you were not ready for the exam, what were you doing all these days, all these weeks, all these months? What you're trying to revise and work last minute? That's not going to work in life. Like, let me tell you this, right? If you are not prepared in life, like forget your studies, like after your studies, after university, when you go into the real world, the 9 to 5, the corporate world, business, whatever, if you are not prepared and you are not staying on top of things, when an opportunity comes your way, you will not be able to see it. Let me repeat that. When an opportunity comes, you will not be able to see it because you were not prepared. You did not do the work. You left everything last minute. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming things and take the responsibility. If you start taking the responsibility and look at yourself, I guarantee you, you will grow. It hurts. It does hurt. Trust me. Oh man, I have friends that tell me when I do wrong things, when I didn't do things the right way, they tell me and it hurts. But I tell them, you tell me when I mess up. You tell me when I do wrong things. It's going to hurt, but I know that's what's going to make me better. That's what's going to grow for me. I'm going to grow from this. I don't want lies. I don't want people just to tell me that, oh, you're doing well. Don't worry, you're doing well. No. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Because that's where the growth comes from. That's where the growth is. Not what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. The test today, when I did this for the students, was because I wanted them to feel and understand that it's a paradox of life where when things come out of nowhere, how do you go and deal with that now? How do you go and deal with the pressure? And I'm marking the papers at the moment. I'm marking it. Not looking that great, but hey, that's fine. That's not a problem. That's good because I want them to use this now as motivation. I want them to use it as, I messed up. Okay, use it as fire to come back stronger next time now. Now you know you need to be prepared that Vidush can come out of nowhere and spring up a test. And look at it as life. Life can come out of nowhere and spring up on you, but you know because you are now prepared, you're organized, that you can take it on. You can take the challenge because mentally you're prepared. You're prepared. Mentally, you've been working on yourself. So when something comes, yes, it's going to maybe tilt you a bit, but it's not going to tilt you far left or far right because you've been working on yourself. So I hope you can get something from this. Like, again, I hope people don't mistake this for me trying to be rude or arrogant or cocky. It was an observation. It was something I saw, and I feel a lot of people do that. And I just had to give my perspective. If you want to know more about, the things I've gone through or challenges, you can go and watch that in the Second Chances. You get better understanding. So you can see why I'm saying all this stuff and where this is coming from. This is coming from experience and not just me trying to talk and, all that rubbish. Like, I believe that you need to go through experience to be able to understand the true value of something. If you have never experienced something, how would you understand the true value of it? It's just wishy-washy. Don't blame anyone else. Don't blame something else. Look at yourself and look where you can improve. Look where you can grow and start building from there. And I guarantee you, when you do that, you're going to see things going so well for you that momentum is just going to keep going up. Your capacity to do more is going to keep going up. And the blame game is going to be gone. You're not going to be blaming anyone or anything else. You're going to always look at yourself and see, where did I go wrong? How do I make sure that this doesn't happen again? How do I make sure that I'm 5 steps ahead so that next time I control it, not it controlling me? Hope you guys got something from this. Peace.